Everyone, in this episode we're going to implement a search mechanism that's going to go along with all our other functionality like pagination and categories. Okay, so first of all, what I want to do is I just want to launch the application and I just want to see where I'm going to place this. So what I want to do is I'll opt in for the more of an easier solution, and I will place my search field just in the middle here, right below, and I might style it a little bit because if you're a beginner, you might want to learn how to style it. So let's go ahead and put an input here. We'll say text and name will be search, just like that. And let's give this a refresh. So at the moment it's up there, and I think that's because of how we implemented the styles here. So go ahead and take a look at the main image. Yeah, relative. Okay, so let's go ahead and change this to a proper way. We're going to use the flex box. So let's go ahead and say display flex. We're going to align it in a column. So let's go ahead and say flex direction column. We're going to align items in the center. So this is going to center it horizontally. And if we want to place stuff in the middle, we want to say justify content center as well. So we are centering it vertically. Okay, so that's there. Let's go ahead and make sure that the amazing block site title, and is it, yeah, it's the same title here. Let's go ahead and remove position absolute and this alignment here, and the rest can stay. I think I'll actually give it a margin bottom of, let's say 2 rem. I think the distance between the two were quite good, but not too big. Okay, nice. And next thing, okay. So let's style this a little bit. I'll actually give this a, let's say, class of search, and I'll grab this search and let's search. I'll say color. Let's make the color black, and the background will be trans background color maybe. I don't know how to spell transparent, so that's quite paramount that IntelliSense helps me. Okay, so border none. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so I don't want the outline either, so outline none. Oh, I went into programming category. Okay, so that's somewhere there. It's hard to see though, so let's go ahead and make the color white, or I don't know, pink, right? And let's say placeholder search blog. Okay, so it's still a little bit hard to see, but let's go ahead and edit the placeholder. So I'm going to grab search. This is very unnecessary, but I thought it would just be fun to do. Placeholder, I think that's the way it's done. Let's grab pink, make it orange. Okay, so there it is. Let's change the font size as well. Font size, let's say like 30 pixels. Oh, okay, that's a little bit too big. 18 pixels. Okay, there we go. So we want to search something. Let's go ahead and make this into a form that we can actually search for. And hold up, I'll actually make border bottom 2px solid. I'll make it pink as well. Feeling pink. All right, there we go. I think that's the most stylish search block you've ever seen in your life. Let's make this pink as well. I think orange is out of touch there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. How do we actually search it? So let's try to put a form around it and see if we can submit it. Okay. So boop beep bop. Create a form, and if we basically press on it and press enter, we can submit the form. Okay, but you might be on mobile, so you might want to put a button that's only visible on mobile. I'll show you how to do that at the end, so people who want to know just the C# part will get to that. So the method that we want to do is the get method, because we are primarily using the get method in our home controller. So right here for our index page, if I can make this just a bit smaller, for our index page, we always get the index page, right? The other stuff, we really don't want to use it to get the page of blogs, okay? So what I want to do is I want to put to get the index page with another parameter, essentially. But I will also have to supply my other parameters. Let's go to the index page, and what we'll have to do, the thing that we are doing in the partial view, how we are assigning the variables, we'll essentially have to do here. So let's make two input fields that are going to be hidden, and the reason they're going to be hidden is so I can pass in the page number without and the category without actually displaying them. So let's say page number and the category, and the value is going to be at model.category and at model page number. Okay, and the action, let's use ASP controller home and ASP action index. Okay, and this has a name of search, so we are going to add string search here, and I'll just put a breakpoint here so when we debug it's going to be a little bit easier. Next thing what I want to do is I want to be able to pass it all the way down into entity framework, so let's go ahead and then extend this function, or rather the function on this interface, so page number, category, and we're going to also pass it. So this way we're capturing what we want to search by, and then we're just going to add it to the whole soup of filtering these blogs, okay? And now we are gonna go take a look at how to implement it in Entity Framework. So if we go into Data, Repository, and the implementation, first thing is let me align these parameters so it's a little bit easier to see, and then I'm gonna add this extra parameter here, which is search. So what I want to do is here we grab the initial query, and I want to add to this query if we have a search parameter. So let's go ahead and say if string is null or empty. So let's say search. So if it's not null or empty, we want to go ahead and say query equals query where x equals x, and here we might want to filter by a few things. So maybe we want to search by title, tags, maybe category, but category we're kind of searching with it as well. Maybe description or body, right? So there's a couple of things. So I'd say let's go ahead, search the title plus the body plus the description, okay? And we're gonna go ahead, after adding all of this stuff together, we're gonna go see if it contains the search string that we're passing. Okay, so that's basically for me a hacky way to check if one of these contains this parameter, right? So I'm just gonna grab all of these together and bop this. I mean, we can actually do this separately, and I think, you know what? Let's go ahead and do them separately. Let's do this, or x.body.contains search, and the ideal way to do this would actually be to create like a search string when you're saving, so you don't have to check many parameters. So you're basically, when you're saving a post, you're gonna grab the title, the body, and the description, and you're gonna throw them all into one string, which you can search, so you wouldn't have to do this. Okay, and again, do search here. Now let's imagine that we have let's say 10,000 blog posts. You can imagine that this operation might be a little bit expensive to perform, and I'm going to show you now how to optimize it. first thing that we're going to do is we are going to confirm that it works. Okay, so we don't get into optimization until we know that something works. Okay, so it doesn't even compile. So let's see. Okay, so we want to pass in another argument. So let's pass in search and let's run this. Let's refresh and let's search for, I don't know what kind of name we have. Where are the names? Oh, they're over there. Okay, so we're gonna quickly fix that, and I'm assuming, let's look at the index page. It's because we changed the title, and it's because the image is pushing it out now, and it used to be absolute. So let's do this. In our CSS, hopefully you haven't closed this file. I'm gonna go ahead and Control Z to before I changed the title. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna Control Y back to where I was. Okay. And now I will paste this here, and I will grab the main.image, and I'll basically be a little bit more explicit which title I mean, and post, and here as well, this is what I'll do. I'll grab .post and put it in front of this title with the absolute position. Okay, what is going on here? Get back there. Okay, nice. Save that. Oh, I opened that. Okay, now we have the numbers back here. So let's go ahead and search for number 2. I actually want to debug this so I know I'm getting it as a parameter. Okay, so search string here should be null as it is. Okay, let's go ahead and grab number 2. And search string is number 2. So if we go in here, search should be 2, and we are appending the query. And let's go ahead and just fly through this. And there we have a couple returned. So why would it return this 7? Okay, because I typed in a bunch of numbers in the description. Well, there we go. Now let's test a couple things. What if I navigate to the second page? Will the search string persist? No. Do we want it to persist? I mean, we have searched it and now we're traversing the pages. So I think yes, we do want it to persist. So let's go ahead and to our blog pagination, and where we're going to be passing the ASP, what was it, search, ASP route dash search. I want to grab add model, and I want to grab the search. Okay, so I want to pass it in the model as well. So let's go ahead and stop this. Let's go into the index view model and add the search term here. Okay, dot search, and let's add it at the bottom. Let's actually grab the whole thing and add it there. Okay. Right, so the reason I'm doing this is because if I search for number 2 and then I go to the second page and the third page suddenly appears, it's like, hold up, what just happened? You know, so we don't get that kind of feeling. And where are we searching here? So the value, the initial value here, let's go ahead and set it to model.search. And when we return the view model, so let's go into the repository and we go into search here, whatever string we set, we pass to this function, we could just pass it back with the index view model. So it's kind of circulating, it's going into the controller action, and then we return it from there as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and F5 on this. Let's full screen. And I'm not sure why it's being called twice, but I guess it's getting redirected once to page number 1 because we don't have a page number, and then it's going back. So let's search for 21 maybe. I should have 1 post or 2. Alright, so apparently I typed it in twice. Let's actually type in for 2 again and make sure that the search persists when we traverse the page. Okay, we traverse. Search does not persist, and that is because of the button. So let's go back into blog pagination, and this is where we click on one of these buttons. We actually want to pass our ASP route search in here as well, so let's copy this and let's put it here. Okay. Pop. I'll give this a refresh. Alright, nice. So let's go to search for 2. There it is. We're on page number 2 now. If we go to page number 1, the search parameter is still here, and all is good. Now let's try with a category. So I'm gonna actually remove this breakpoint because it's getting a little bit annoying. Let's go into programming. And how many do I have? I have 2. So let's say now I want to search by 0, since or let's say 10. It doesn't really matter. I just need to pick one. So 0. Okay. So I'm in programming and I'm searching for 0. So if I would move programming, I'm hopefully gonna get more than 1. And no, I did not. So let's go back to home, and hopefully if I search 0 here, nope. Let's sign in as an admin so we can confirm that it works. I have a couple here. So add new post. Let's say 0. Let's give it a couple of zeros. 0, 0, 0, 0, travel. Choose a file. And boom. Let's give it one of these guys. Okay. So on the last page here, there it is. It's not part of programming. Okay. So if I search for 0 here, there it is, that one. And if I search for 0 here, hopefully the 2 will pop up, and they do. So we have a search mechanism that basically works with our categories, and that basically persists through us traversing pages. And maybe will it survive navigating to a post? I don't think so, no. But if we go back, we return to the route that has the search. Okay, so you have to think about it, where you want to persist the search, where you don't, and that part is up to you. But let's go ahead, close this, and let's talk about how we can optimize this a little bit. Because if we do have a lot of blog posts, or if you have a lot of products, I know some people have been asking me about like working with big lists and stuff like that. But essentially, what we want to do, if you're implementing a search mechanism, first thing that you do with entity framework is, if you're getting stuff from the database and you're not going to need to update anything, you always want to query as no tracking, because then this is a massive overhead for entity framework, and this is used to update entities and track the changes in entities. So when you do this, this is a massive performance boost. I've seen literally like 90% performance boost just by applying this function and removing tracking. Okay. The next part we want to do is implementing a like SQL statement. So a like SQL statement is a little bit more performant than doing this. This isn't actually very performant, but in SQL, what a framework allows us to do is access the static class and the functions in here, and we can grab the like function. So this is a SQL like function, and we want to match an expression and the pattern. Okay, so what we want to provide is we want to grab the title, and we want it to match an expression of a search here. Okay, so in SQL, these just mean wildcards. So this is basically contains, but a SQL performant version. Okay, and I'm just going to do the same thing for all of them, and this is just going to squeeze out a bit more performance in SQL for you. Okay, if you want to learn more about the like statement in SQL, I mean, I guess you can Google it. I'm not going to explain SQL because I think it's a dying technology, but it's still going to be around for a while, like PHP. But yeah, still, it gets the job done. Okay. So using the like statement is really powerful as well in Entity Framework. And these are really the two things that you need to do. So if you're searching for a contents in a string, use the like statement. And if you're retrieving data that you're not editing, always use no tracking, because that's going to boost the performance. And if you don't want to, if you're retrieving stuff multiple times, you don't want to sprinkle that everywhere. You just want to go into context and you want to grab change tracking behavior, and then you want to what was it, query tracking behavior, and you just want to set it to no tracking, and that's just going to set it globally for any context after you've called this. All right, for any context operation after you call that. Okay, but I'm grabbing it once, so I'm just using it here like this. Okay, so let's just run it and confirm that it still works. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to search for 12 in the post 7. We have 12 here. And this big post, it's just its title, and here we have 12 as well. Okay, so you will not notice this performance boost in this example, but just remember, if you're working with big lists as no tracking, massive performance boost, and if you're searching for contents in a string, use the like statement, massive performance boost. All right, this will be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. And I've actually just remembered, let's go ahead and implement a button in case you are on the phone, because you don't have the, what's it called? The enter button to just press by reflex, okay? So let's do a search submit button, and we'll just say display none, okay? And let's move it down here. And this is really extra, you don't need to do this. So let's go ahead into media. So I'm just gonna show it when it's on the mobile screen. Otherwise, we want to hide it, because on the desktop you should be pressing your button, right? On media screen, and I think it's max width less than, let's say, 768 pixels. And I messed this up. Okay, there we go. Now what we want to do is essentially give this a display of, let's say, normal. So let's just display inline block, and the rest will stay. Let's go ahead and just plop it over here. Let's do boop, button. Oh, what was that? Class submit button, and let's say search. I think that will be okay. Okay, yeah, so search, and if we increase the screen size, not going away. Who made this? Give this a refresh. Make sure. I've actually done goofed because it's not inside the search input field. So let's go ahead, put that back, and let's give this a refresh. Okay, and now if I make it smaller, there's the search button. So if we're in the mobile screen, we can go ahead and press it like this. Okay, cool. So now this is it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. If you want me to cover any other topics, also leave a comment. Hopefully, I'll see you around. Have a good day.